going, guys? We are talking horizontal forces today. Yeah, horizontal vector forces. I'm coming back to you. I talked about this in the past, but I think it's time to go ahead and bring it back around again because it's so important to training our body the right way. Especially if you have an active aging body that's starting to break down a little bit, you need to go ahead and start bringing in horizontal forces. Why? Well, let me take you through 4 reasons why you need to bring in horizontal forces. First and foremost, it doesn't bring in the influences of gravity. You know, all day long, guys, we are walking on our legs. We're handling gravity all day long. Don't you think our joints are getting tired of that? Now you go to the gym and you go ahead and beat yourself up with free weights, which also, by the way, is all gravity dependent. And now your joints get beat up even more. You know, I know there's this idea of, well, we got to lift weights to be able to teach our body how to handle gravity. I get that. But here's the other issue. We got to go ahead and bring in forces to our body that stop beating up our joints. That's why I think free weights continue to break us down, because all day long we're training and working against gravity, and then we go ahead and work out against gravity. So that's the first number 1 reason. It doesn't bring in gravity's influences, so your joints tolerate it better. Next thing, go ahead. All right, it's going to bring in joint stabilization. Yeah, when we go ahead and attach this band onto our hips, it immediately creates a force this way that teaches our hips how to stabilize. If I come out of this quickly and I go over here and I grab this setup, when I go ahead and I do rotational pushes, now my stabilizers all the way through my body have to go ahead and learn how to stabilize differently. So as a result of that, our stabilizers are going to be kicked in much more aggressively and differently. And I think ultimately that makes us much more 3-dimensionally strong, which I think is key. Yeah, we want to be 3D stable so we can be 3D strong. Next thing it brings in is shear forces. Now I know a lot of you probably don't know what shear forces are, but they're the forces that combine compression from gravity and horizontal forces happening at the same time. As a result, when we go ahead and we do a horizontal push, we have these shear forces coming at our body from a horizontal vector. As a result, all right, our joints have to go ahead and learn how to stabilize against that shear force. Well, guys, I got some information for you. 90% of the injuries, 90% of why our joints break down is because we don't handle shear forces. Our joints love compression. They handle compression very well. They were built to handle compression. Makes sense because somebody knew we were going to be up against gravity for a long time. But what they didn't say is, they didn't say, hey, we're not going to be able to help you handle shear forces. You're going to have to teach your muscles how to stabilize against shear forces. Well, guess what, guys? Horizontal vectors allow us to train against shear forces. And that's key. That's real key. We've got to go ahead and be able to handle shear forces so ACLs don't get torn, rotator cuffs don't get torn, rotator cuff labrums don't get torn, low back disc structures don't get impacted and worn out. I can go on and on, guys. Shear forces have to be learned. We have to learn how to control shear forces, and the best way to do it is with horizontal vectors. Lastly, guys, this trunk of ours is key. Our entire body is focused on how our trunk handles stability. Well, guess what? When we're standing straight up and down, the only thing our trunk has to learn how to do is stabilize us in a up and down vertical position. As a result of that, our trunk doesn't have to worry about rotational forces, forward-backward forces, side-to-side forces. How are you going to bring those in and teach the body how to stabilize? Because as soon as you start moving, those forces come into play. Guys, horizontal forces. If I come on over here and I take this yellow band and I just put it out here, guess what, guys? Anti-rotation. I'm teaching my trunk how to handle rotation. Hey, let's go over here. Now I'm teaching it how to stabilize and handle side bending. All right, now I'm going to turn and rotate. Now I'm doing a movement out of this and I'm doing chest press, but my trunk is learning how to handle rotational stabilization. Guys, we'll talk a lot more in the future about trunk stabilization and how you should be training it. But the point of the fact matter is right now, horizontal vectors teach our trunk how to stabilize the right way. There you go. 4 reasons why horizontal vectors are so critical to bringing into your training. And there's only one way to go ahead and really do it. Resistance bands, guys. It's really the only way you can go ahead and bring in horizontal forces and really start making your trunk, making your body, making your hips, making your entire body function the way it's supposed to happen. Bring in some horizontal forces into your training and watch your body take off and start performing at a level you never thought it could.